So this question is number of students unable to eat lunch. So you may read over this, and I'm going to make the summary for the question in my own words. So look at example 1. We are given the two in array, student and sandwich. So one of the tricky things is the student can rotate. It has to be a circular array for the student, and sandwich you are not able to move the sandwich at the end and then reorder them. Nice. In the sandwich array, you are not allowed to swap the order, but in the student array, you can swap the order. So how do you know that how many students there are unable to eat, right? So look at it. So the first one in the student does not match to this value. So this one will queue at the end of the student array, so you become this, right? And this one is still not matched with this value index 0, so you will go back to the end, so you will become 0, 0, 1, 1, right? So now my student index 0 is matched with the sandwich index 0, right? So they took away the value, so this student take away the sandwich and leave the queue. So the queue become what? 0, 1, 1, and the sandwich become 1, 0, 1, right? So let me redraw. So it becomes 0, 1, 1, right? So now my first value for the student is 0, and my first value for the sandwich queue is 1. They are not matched, so this student go back to the end, and then let's see, the first value over here and this and then first value over here, they are the same. So the student take away the sandwich and leave the queue, so it becomes 1, 0 for students array and 0, 1 sandwich for sandwich, right? And then you're doing the exact strategy. This one go back to the end, and then you will match this value with this value, and this value with this value. So all the students have their sandwich to eat, right? So what happened to here? So look at this. I will have what? 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1 for sandwich. Student is 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, right? So let's look at this. So the first value for the sandwich, right? The student take away, right? They are the same value, right? So now the following index is 1, right? It's 1, the value 1, but it's actually 0 for sandwich. So this guy reordered to the last, right? So the next value for the student is 1 as well. It's not 0, so I'm going to move this student back to the array. So the array is 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. So this student will take away sandwich 0, and another student will take another sandwich 0. And then if you actually find out, we have no remaining student 0, right, to take away sandwich 0. So at this moment we can tell like these three are the student unable to eat, because the sandwich has to be take away by order. If the sandwich does not take away by order, these two students can take away this too, right? And then the value will be, the output will be 1. But this is not how it is. Like the sandwich cannot switch the order, only the student. So what we need to do is that we count number of the student, like how many 1 and 0 for the students. And when we traverse a sandwich array by order, so starting from 0 all the way to the end, and then if we are checking this value, the value for the sandwich in the student counter, if they are not, if a student does not greater than the value for sandwich, then you will just break out the for loop and return the number of students who are unable to eat. So let's start coding. So what you need to do is that you need to create an array. In array, I'm going to call counter. I'm going to new int initialize to 0 by 0, right? So the first value, first index represent the student 0. The second value, the second index, is going to represent the student 1. I'm going to traverse a student in array, and my counter will be just adding, right? If a student equal to 0, I'll increment the value for here. If a student equal to 1, I'll increment value over here. Alright. So now I need an index. I'm going to say I. So I will traverse from what? I equals 0 all the way I less than sandwich dot length, and then I plus plus, right? But one of the condition is what? You want to also check the counter. Does the counter value as student is greater than sandwich value, right? So I'm going to say, oh, does my remaining student is greater than 0? So how do I know my remaining student for the sandwich is going to be what? Sandwich AI, right? So sandwich AI will be representing 0 or 1, right? And this will also become the student counter, right? I convert to student counter. I want to see how many students left for the current, the current value is either 0 or 1, right? And then it has to be more than 0, right? So if everything is satisfied, I'm going to say, okay, now I can take away the sandwich. So I can take away the guy with the sandwich, subtract by this. So once you break out the for loop, is either you validate this, right? Oh, I need an end, sorry. So you either validate this or you actually reach until the end. So all of student has sandwich, and I will become the sandwich dot length, right? But if not, then you want to say, okay, total student dot length minus the I. So minus the I will become the index. You are either unable to fulfill the student, or you actually hit the last value for the sandwich. So let's look at this. Yeah, submit. And yeah, so let's look at time and space. This is a space, so it's constant. This is time, all of s, and then this is all of s, and then they have to be the same length, right? So where is it? Yeah, they have to be the same length. So if there's any question, you can leave a comment below. But let's run about the debugger, and I definitely see that they have the same length for the sandwich and student. So it will be, I think it's like, yeah, they are. This sentence represent they are the same length. Alright, I don't care. Alright, anyway, let's look about this one. Start debugging. Alright, just look at the windows on the left. Alright. So look at this value, right? Okay. So when I equal to 3, what is I equal to 3? Right here, right? Sandwich for I equal to 3. Does my I equal to 3, which is value 0? Do I have more student for index 0? No. So I'll break out the value of for loop, and I will see how many students. Total student 6, right? 6 minus I is the index where any student cannot get, and then I will access, right? So the answer become what? 3. So this will be the solution, and it's a little bit tricky. Think about how you resolve the issue. So if you still have questions, leave a comment below. I will see you later. Bye.